Hey again, everyone, and welcome to another top 10 with the Game Boys. I think we're good. I think we've settled on that name. Are we all agreed on that?
Yeah, when our powers combine, we are the Game Boys. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. And with it being so close to Christmas, well, currently on this live date, it is December 10th at my side. I suppose it's just turned December 10th at your side, Asdruval.
Uh,
And
Here in the Pacific Northwest United States, yes, it turned to summer a couple hours ago.
awesome. So we are doing a top 10 plus one stocking stuffers. Because with it being so close to Christmas, we've all got our top 10 plus one list ready. So I think we should just start off with our plus one. And Azraval, do you want to go first?
Wait,
Okay.
real quick. Hold on. Georgie, did you tweet out in Arabic that we're on YouTube right now?
I did not.
This is what I'm seeing. You see that over there?
Uh, why did I don't know why that has happened. Maybe I should resolve that. Why is it went out
Okay,
of Arabic?
anyway, I don't know. I don't. To be fair, I don't know if it's Arabic. It could be any number of differently scripted languages.
Okay, that's
So Georgie or Azrael, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my number 11 is a game that it comes in a small box, but it needs kind of a bigger, not your normal sock to fit it in. It's called Patchwork. Any of you heard of Patchwork?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've not played it yet. It's on my list.
Okay. Patchwork is a game where you have a board. It's only a two-player game. I play it with my wife quite often. You have a board, and you have to get patch quilts onto your board. It's like a Tetris puzzle game, and you have buttons where you actually buy the different fabric, and you have to fill out your board before your opponent does, and whoever uses the most intricate pieces in your board, the more higher points you'll gain. I'm not really a big quilter, but my wife quilts, and this is one that I saw, and I said, "Oh, it's about quilts. Whoa, I should get no problem with my wife playing this game since it was about quilts, you know." But I decided to throw that in there because it's a small game. It's great if you don't have a wife that normally plays board games and quilts. It's got a paste it on theme to it, and it's pretty fun. So that's my number 11. It's Patchwork.
Now you said it's a two-player only game?
It's a two-player only game. That's correct.
Oh, I didn't know that. In
Yeah,
that case, I might have to move it up farther on my list because I like two-player games.
I kind of always took you for a quilter, Ashdabal, so I'm kind of surprised that you're not one and your wife is one. So that is a bit of a shock to me. Baker, do you want to go next with your number 11?
I don't even know what that means. Wait, did we lose Azrael? Where'd he go?
No, I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. Oh, okay. Sorry, you blacked out on my screen for a second. All right, so my number 10 plus one, as our title says, is Zombie Dice. Yeah, this is from Steve Jackson Games, and is extremely simple for anybody that doesn't know what this one is. It's literally you just rolling dice the whole time, and basically on the dice you have either brain, shotgun blast, or the feet running away. And in this game, you are the zombie, so you're trying to get the brains, you're trying to avoid the shotgun blast, and if you get the feet running away, that means they got away from you. You have to roll the dice again. So first person with 13 brains wins, and it's a fun game. It's probably more fun if you got people that don't normally play games. And you can just play this while you're sitting around a table talking. There's not a whole lot of thought that has to go into it. You don't have to fuss at people for not paying attention, that sort of thing. So Zombie Dice is my number
You have
one.
any of the expansions to that?
No, I only recently realized there were expansions of Zombie Dice. I might have to check that out to see. Do they add
It
like
it
more?
adds to the game, and it just makes it that much more enjoyable. Still great for new people. It doesn't really bog it down with rules, but it just adds a little extra.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out because I had not realized that until recently that those existed.
Zombie Dice is to me it's like a super fun filler game, but I always lose because I'm like 5 brains, 6 brains, 10 brains, I lost. So like I'll keep pushing it regardless of how much I get on the same roll. I never win that game, but I love doing it, and the dice are pretty high quality as well, really. So
Yeah, they are really good quality dice. The symbols are etched into
yeah.
them, so you don't. It's not stickers.
Okay, well that's another good one. So my number 11 or plus one, as the video said, like you said, Baker, is Bang the Dice Game by Michael Pam and Lucas Sack. That's the game where I don't know if any of you two have played it, but it's based on Bang the card game, but it takes the card game and just turns it into something completely awesome. You on your turn you have to roll dice. You can if you get like there's like dynamite symbols where you can't roll them again. You know, kind of like what you said with zombie dice. You get the
Yeah.
shotgun symbols where you can't re-roll them and things. So you get the dynamite symbols, you can't re-roll them again. If you get 3 of those, it ends your turn. You can like roll shots to hit people on like one side to your left or right, or 2 sides to your left or right. And like you all have hidden roles as well. So whether you're like what's the right name for it? The sheriff or a deputy or there's a couple of different roles in it, and it's just a super super fun game that comes in a really really small box. But to me, takes Bang the card game and just turns it into something totally awesome. And that's my number 11, and
Yeah,
that's Bang the
I
Dice
really want to
Game.
play that one. I have not played it yet.
Awesome game. Okay, so next on the list is number 10. I think Baker, do you want to take us off on this one?
Sure. This is another one that I'm fortunate enough to actually have a copy of. Timeline, and not specifically this timeline, any iteration of Timeline, I'd say. This is another really easy game to pick up and learn. Basically, what you do is everybody starts with a hand of cards, and you can see on one side of the card it'll say something like this says the discovery of bacteria. On the other side, it says the same thing, but it gives you the actual year that that particular thing happened. And basically, players start with a hand of 4 cards, I think, and then you're trying to, one at a time, lay them out on the table, and you're placing your card in chronological order with whatever other cards have already been played. And real quick game, a lot of fun, and does have some educational value as well. And there's about 8 different versions of it. This one is Discoveries, and they have like Americana, American history, inventions, all kinds of stuff like that.
They also have a Star Wars timeline too, which I'm interested to get.
Yeah, they do. That just came out. It's not compatible. Like most of the timelines, you can mix them all up together and they work. The Star Wars timeline is different because it's actually like the events that it's talking about. You put them in order that they happened in the movies. It's not specifically tied to actual real life years. So, but yeah, that one looks like it'd be a lot of fun to play.
Awesome. I have heard about a couple of those. Never actually played any of them, but as always with me, I'm up for playing pretty much anything. But my number 10 is The Grizzled by Simon or
Nice.
Kuman or not. It's designed by Fabian, and I can forgive my pronunciation, Fabian Refouad or Jean Rodriguez. It's a game that's, I guess, there is kind of a Christmas theme to it. Like, if I do say so, like there's like a Christmas card where that seems to be the only positive card in the whole game. But the rest of it seems to be based on a World War I scenario where you're just trying to survive through rain, winter, gas, bombs. Comes in a really, really small box with no actual minis, given the fact that it's cool mini or not. But that's my number 10, The Grizzled.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard. You've played this one, right?
Yeah, I have this one.
I guess y'all. Sorry, yeah, y'all probably played every game on y'all's list. I had to cheat a little bit and put some games on here that I have not played yet, but I really want to. But with the Grizzled, have you managed to beat it yet? Because I've I know on Marty and the other guy, Marty and Tony from Rolling Dice and Taking Names, have never beaten it. Like every time I've listened to their podcast, they still have not beaten it yet. So
I've beaten it twice.
twice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a super awesome game. Probably should have mentioned as well, like it's a co-op. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
Game. Asdruval, do you want to give us your number 10?
My number 10 is a card game in a small box. It's called Mundus Novus, which it's translated into the New World. It's by Asmodee and designed by Bruno Cathala and Sergi Laget. I guess I'm saying his name correctly. But it's basically your 16th century sailors that just discovered the New World, and you're trying to get sets of cards, goods, whether it be spices or wood or whatnot, trying to get it back to your homeland. And every turn you'll play events, whether your warehouse caught on fire or the seas are too stormy or whatever like that. It's a great fun game. Not many people have heard of it. It's a little bit older game, but was put out in 2011. But you can still get. I mean, there's still copies everywhere at your local gaming store. But it's great fun, easy to learn. It's one of those other easy ones that you can get new people to play right away, and it's a cool game. And that's my number 10, Mundus Novus.
Awesome. That's not
Did
one
you
that
say
I've
Bruno
played
Cathala
or
did
heard
that?
of.
Yeah, Bruno Cathala did that one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not one that I've
Look into
played or heard of, but I'll definitely have to look into that as
Yeah,
well.
me either.
Yeah. So who's gonna kick off our number 9? I feel like we're making pretty good time here. For all of us who, to be fair, we're all kind of a bunch of babblers. And once we start yapping, we're making kind of good time.
I'll
Oh,
take number 9.
Cool.
go
Kick
for it.
Number 9 is a crossover. Zombie Dice.
Yes. Very nice.
Again, it's just like to reiterate what Baker said, that it's a great game, doesn't take long to play, get almost anybody involved because it's just a fun game to play, and packaged rather smallly. And that's my number 9, Zombie Dice.
Awesome. Baker, what's your number 9?
Hold on. Okay, the Resistance is actually going to be, and look at this, I have first edition of Resistance, yeah. What are you going to say about that?
Small box.
This one, yeah, I know, it does not come in I guess the newer one comes in the bigger box, but with this one, it's got a very small footprint on the table, and I'm trying to remember, I guess the first edition has certain cards where the other one had like tokens and stuff, I don't know. Anyway, the way the Resistance works is basically, you need to have at least 5 people. So even though it's a small box game, you got to have a good number of people to play it. But basically, so you need 5 people, and in that case, 2 of you will be a spy inside of this rebel organization working for the government, and the other 3 of you are part of the Resistance. And you're trying to go on these missions, and it's very abstracted as far as the actual missions go. It's more about deciding who's going to go on the mission and everything like that. And I've never seen, in the 5-player games, I've never seen the Resistance, the good guys, actually win. I've always seen the government agents win, but could also be the group I was playing with. It's a real fun game, though. I definitely am excited to finally get to try it with more than 5 people, because I've only ever played it with 5. So
we have one with 5 players. Just saying.
yeah.
We played that game a lot though. Like when we have like a big group of people, for a while, right at one of my friends' houses, it was one of the only big group games that he had. So anytime there was any type of get together party or anything like that, it was Resistance. So yeah, we played that game a lot, and Yeah, but I know what you mean. The ratio seems to be quite small with 5 for the win with the resistance. So
Right. I've played the Resistance before, but I've mentioned this to Baker before. Playing with my family, they all have their tails, and I pretty much win every time. It's hard to play with them.
You can tell when they're lying. You mean, right?
Exactly. So I play that game with strangers or somebody that's a better liar.
Yeah.
Well, you need to tell your kids to become better liars.
I'll prime them up to become better liars.
Yeah, get them telt, as we would say here in Scotland. So, my number 9 is Star Realms by White Wizard Games. That is
Nice,
signed by
good choice.
Robert Docherty and Darwin Castle. I think everyone knows what Star Realms is. Deck building game, 1 deck of cards. Believe it was originally a Kickstarter. Yes, it was. So yeah, it's an awesome game. There's 4 factions. You kind of want to build up the factions and then play them against your opponent, well, it's not really causing damage. It's actually to bring down their authority in the sort of, I don't know what to call it, in the galaxy.
Yeah, like it was called authority. Yeah, and
yeah,
it's more like you're going up against their influence in the galaxy than it is you're actually directly damaging them.
Exactly. I guess realistically, as well as as a lot of deck building games can be, there's kind of an abstract nature to it. But with all the awesome artwork and the idea of breaking the other person's authority, but I sometimes like to call it damage, particularly when I win, like 12 damage. Like, anyway, but yeah, that's my number 9, and that's Star Realms. Okay, should I kick us off for number 8, or
there's an expansion for Star Realms that I believe is available now.
It's a standalone expansion.
Standalone expansion where it's a full deck. And if you
Colony.
want to, you can mix it in with other deck. And I
think it's called Star Realms Colony, right?
Yes.
Colony or Colony Wars.
Something like that, yeah.
Something to do with Colony.
And there's also
as long as I've been around, I have not played it yet.
Oh. There's also like Cthulhu Realms as well, and now that other one called Epic, which are pretty much the same mechanic.
I've heard very mixed reviews about Epic.
Mixed reviews?
Yeah, well, people, I guess, I don't know. I'm people that I like. A lot of the podcasts I've been listening to have been kind of lukewarm on Epic as far as. Have you played it yet?
I've not played Epic. I guess maybe like I'm getting kind of burnt out on the whole like Star Realms, Cthulhu Realms thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not like I love Cthulhu, but I'm not getting Cthulhu Realms just because it's literally the exact same game as Star Realms. With
exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same. So it's just like different iconography and stuff. But yeah, anyway, that was my number 9, Star Realms. Should I kick us off for number 8 or?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so my number 8 is by GameWorks and designed by Sebastian Pauchon. I again apologize if that's not correct, but it's Jaipur. That is a two-player only set collection game, and we are collecting either spices, fabrics, or one of my personal favorite things to collect, camels.
Yes.
To gain points at the end, and then you play it 3 times over, and whoever best out of 3, literally. Obviously, it's because it's like a set collecting game. The earlier you trade to the market or trade to the city, the more stuff's worth, and the more things that are floating about in the market, the less things are worth, essentially. So you want to get in there first, and that's Jaipur. That's my number 8.
I too like to collect camels.
And we have one called Bill.
No, that would be ridiculous. His name is Georgie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I named him after you.
Does he spit at you a lot?
He does. He does. It's very rude. And I had one named Asdruval, but the alligator got him. So we're going to have to replace him.
Okay. Asdruval, do you want to hit us for your number 8? Number 8 for me is Dungeon Roll by Tasty Minstrel Games.
Oh, okay.
It is another dice roller game where you are rolling dice and fighting monsters with your different characters that you rolled, trying to go further into the dungeon, and the further into the dungeon you go, the more, obviously, the more points you get, but it's also got that push your luck, because if you die somewhere in the middle of your delve, you lose all the points that you've accumulated for that turn. So it's one of those kind of push your luck games. But again, it's another small package game, just dice. Easy to get people involved. It's fun. And they got a couple of expansions where they just introduce just new characters. So I've had a lot of success with that one. I've played it a lot, and you can also play it solo also. So that's pretty cool. And
I have not. Yeah, this one looks really like a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it even
seems
comes
like
with
it's
a tiny a treasure chest where you keep all the treasure.
Okay.
But you know, the treasure chest is basically made out of cardboard and paper. So you know, the more you open and close it, it gets mine is kind of ripping at the seams.
Okay.
So I
That's
just
unfortunate.
transferred all the treasure tokens into like a plastic baggie or whatever.
Is that treasure box supposed to? Is that the box for the game too, or is that?
That's the box for the game. That is correct.
Yeah, see that's one thing that's a pet peeve of mine is when the game boxes are not good enough quality to hold up over time.
Right, and just the constant opening and closing of it, it just wears it out. And like I said, it's not the best quality box, but like I said, every time I pulled it out, a lot of people enjoy it all the time, and I've showed many non-gamers how to play this game, and they all love it. And that was Dungeon Roll by Tasty Minstrel.
Okay, was that a Kickstarter one as well? Or?
That was a Kickstarter one, but I didn't get it on Kickstarter. I just waited till it came out on the stores.
Oh yeah, of course, you're a Kickstarter phobic.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So,
Don't worry, Asdruval, I got your back on that one, man.
Yes. Baker, you're going.
Yeah. Let's see. My number was 8.
8, man. Yeah.
Is Potato Man.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, real small box game. This one was magically transported to me by Georgie one time.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, if you don't know about that, go catch up on your board game blenders and you'll know what I'm talking about. But this is a set collection game. It is, I believe, up to 2 to 5 players, but really it's more like a 3 or 4 player game. Because to play with 2 players or 5 players, you have to use a variant. But yeah, so 2 to 5 players technically, and what you're doing is there's 4 different colors, and like if the first player plays a color, then the next player can play any color except the first color. So it's kind of like the reverse suit type thing, where in a lot of set collection you have to follow the suit that's played. In this one you have to play anything except the suit that's played. So one person will play a color, the next person will play a different one. So now the third person has only 2 colors to choose from, and the fourth person has to play whatever color is left over. And then after that's done, whoever's played the highest number wins that hand. But instead of just collecting these hands and whoever has the most hands wins, in fact, there's points assigned to which color you won the hand with, because certain colors it's harder to win with because they have lower numbers. So anyway, kind of a cool little take on set collection games, or I guess not set collection. That's not the right word. It's trick-taking games. That's what I meant. Not set collection. Trick-taking.
Okay.
And it plays in about 15 minutes maybe. So real quick game. A lot of fun, easy to pick up. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I think Baker, you haven't taken us off on one for a while, have you? So, do you want to kick us straight off with number 7?
Well, this is going to be the first game on my list that have not actually played. And just so everyone knows, basically, I'm still relatively new to the board game world. I guess I've been playing for about 3 years now, but small games are something that I really have not explored a lot until recently. I've always been more of the Mansions of Madness type and Imperial Assault. So anyway, this one is Bang the Dice game. So here we got a crossover, and this one has been high on my list for a long time. Just have not gotten my hands on it yet. And I mean, Georgie already pretty much explained it about as well as he can. It looks really cool. The dice by themselves make me want to get it because they look like really cool, chunky dice. And yeah, they do have a Walking Dead version of Bang the Dice game. They got really good reviews. The main reason why I don't want that is because the thing with that one is the dice are not etched like they are in the regular Bang the Dice game. For some reason, they either stickered them or just painted on the dice or whatever, and so they kind of start rubbing off after you play it for a while. But Bang the Dice game is my number 7.
Just one quick note about The Walking Dead. Is that not the TV show Walking Dead, but the comic book Walking Dead?
The artwork is based off the comics, yeah. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, I've not played the Walking Dead one, but I think I watched a review or something or read up on BGG about it, and I think it is all comic book. I don't think any of it's actual TV series, but I wouldn't put money on me saying that, but yeah, that's what I think.
No, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure it's all comic book artwork.
Totally. I just say for as well. I know this is a probably a bit random mid top 11, but right now is the BGG support. So for any of you who haven't already, get across there and support them as much as you can, because this is their annual support run where we can basically keep the site alive, and I love that place. So
everyone donate so I don't have to, is what I tell people.
Well, I already have, so you can.
Yeah, yes. I put my donation. I put a one-time donation already.
Yeah.
I'll be throwing some money at them. We were only I think 10 days into the drive too. They still got a lot of time left.
Yeah, they have 23 days left, and they're already a little over half already.
Yeah.
So they're doing really good. I just thought I would just quickly say that because that site does a lot for the industry. So, my number 7, or Asdruval, do you want to go first? I don't know. Who do you think should go first? Me or you?
I'll go ahead and take my number 7 right now.
Go.
My number 7 was suggested by Baker. Maybe he remembers, maybe he doesn't. It's Heartland, that trucking game.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I heard it mentioned.
That was like episode 2 of Blender or something like that. When I talked about that.
Like episode 2, yeah, back in February or something. He talked about it a little bit on Board Game Blender. Was at my local gaming store, saw it there, bought it. Great little fun game about delivering goods throughout the Midwest. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. It's one of the games that my wife actually likes to play. She actually thinks it's kind of neat. You get little wooden trucks, which are pretty cool. You can have a different layout to the map. The board are just cards, and you can lay them out in different configurations to make the game a little bit more easier, a little bit more harder. They also have an advanced play where things get added on, where you can't do certain actions in this spot, and you can't pass this card to go to the other card without paying a toll. That kind of stuff just adds a little bit more, a little element of strategy to the game with those advanced rules, but it's perfectly fun with just the basic rules also. And that was my number 7, Heartland.
Look how much it's going for right now on Amazon.
No way. That's crazy.
$100.
I guess it's out of print.
Jeez, I mean, I picked up my copy for like $14.
Yeah, I'm sure you could get it on eBay for something like that, man.
Yeah. If you get it used, I'm sure it's different. But in Shrink, it's $100 right now.
I'll take a used copy any day.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a $20 game, so please don't go spend $100 on it.
yeah. Okay, so my number 7 is No Thanks by Mayfair Games, and that's designed by Thorsta Gimler, sorry. It's kind of like I would say like a set collecting game, but it's like a kind of like a pusher. I don't really know what to call it, but you have like pass tokens and a deck of cards in front of you. The cards go from 3 to 35, but 9 of the cards are taken out to start with, and you don't know which 9, right? So the idea is that you want to finish with as least points as possible, and every card that you've got as face value is points, apart from cards that you
Okay.
have in a row. So say you have like 14, 15, 16, only the 14 are the points that go towards your grand total of points because you have them in a row. So there's that kind of push your luck element where you think, well, I have the 34 and there's the 30. Do I take the 30? Is the 31, 32, and 33 still in the deck after the 9's removed? So there's kind of that like push your luck element, kind of that little gambling element, but you also have those pass tokens, and each pass token's worth -1 at the end of the game towards your point value. So if you have, say, 20 points and you have 5 pass tokens, you end up with 15 points. That would be a really extraordinarily good score, by the way, because sometimes you end up with 150 points or 100. Like you can end up with crazy amounts. But you play the game 3 times. Whoever has the least amount of points is the winner. Super super fun game. That's my number 7. No thanks.
Yeah, I've heard. I know. I think Tom Vassell likes that game. Z Garcia hates it. Um, so it's never made it on my wish list just because I can't. Between those two extremes, I haven't found anybody in the middle. But I might have to start looking at it again.
It's
See if I can put it on my wish
interesting.
list.
It's interesting, and it'd be good for like a lot of family get-togethers, things like that. Because I believe it plays up to 8 players, 7 or 8 players. Um,
Nice.
so it's super fun and really quick as well. So it's one of those ones that you can just play and super small. Especially the new edition's really even smaller, I think. So yeah, that's my
Yeah, I'll
number
definitely
7.
have to check that out again.
Okay, now we're on to number 6. Does anyone want to take us off with number 6? Or should I
Yeah, I'll
take
do
it?
it. I'll do it.
Okay, Beck's going to do it. Cool.
My number 6 is the Ultra Pro Deck Protector. No, it's not. It's what's inside of it. Um, this is where I keep my Star Realms.
I knew there was
I've
going
got
to be
it
another
all.
crossover there. I just.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought that one would be a little higher.
Well, last year it would have been. Last year it would have been. Star Realms has kind of fallen off for us recently, just because we've had some other games that have taken its place as far as what we play a lot around here. But Star Realms is. I mean, I've got all the expansions up until Colony Wars. I don't have Colony Wars in there. I don't even have Colony Wars yet. I do want to get it, and maybe at that point Star Realms will pick up a little bit for us again. But Star Realms is it's so much fun, and it's so easy to set up and tear down. You can get 3 or 4 games in the time it takes to set up a lot of other games that are considered short games. Like I don't know, Small World or Smash. Well, Smash Up's probably similar, but yeah. Point is, you can get a lot of games in pretty quickly. Georgie, stop drinking the moonshine.
It's not. I try. It's not moonshine. This is exactly what I said to the wife. This is mason jars, and when I drink water, it's not going to look good online. However, I'm going to chug the whole thing, I guess, as they say. It's not moonshine, it's water.
Georgie, don't make us fly over there and set up an intervention. That'll be very expensive for both of us, and neither of us want to do it. But anyway, so Star Realms, yeah, that's we're getting off track. Star Realms is my number 6, and if you haven't played it, what's wrong with you? Check it out.
I would
It's
agree.
also
Yeah.
primarily 2 players, but technically you can do more than that.
Yeah.
No, I never have.
Yeah, I'm pretty desperate to play it. Like I heard a rumor about a 6-player version. I'm not sure how true that is, but I'd be really love to play it that way and just see how it worked out. But anyway, my number 6 is Tides of Time by Portal Games, and it's
Nice.
designed by Christian Curla. That's a 2-player only card drafting game. So any of you who have played drafting games and I guess kind of set collecting at the same time. So it's not set collecting as such. There's each card has a different rule, so each card that you take and then draft back and forward, is do I take that? Do I want my opponent to have it, or is it going to benefit me more than it's going to benefit him? Or I don't know what to take. But if I leave him this card, then that's going to benefit him, and it can be really quite thinky. And again, at the end of each round, you have like 5 cards each, and you draft them back and forward. At the end of each round, you keep one and discard one back to the box, and then draw from the pile again. You end up using every card in the game, which is only 18, but they're like the big tarot-sized cards, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, it's my number 6, Portal Games, signed by Christian Curla, Tides of Time.
That one should be showing up at my house tomorrow. I'm real excited to give that one a try.
Yeah, man, I'm going to put money on you loving it, Baker. Put money on it right now.
I think so. The wife and I love Sushi Go right now, and you can't. I mean, Sushi Go's got a 2-player variant, but you can't really play it 2 players. So we wanted to get some sort of drafting game for 2 players, and so obviously Tides of Time is the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, man. Awesome game. Have you played it, Asdruval, or?
That is one of those that is high on my list that I have not tried out yet.
Cool. Asdruval, do you want to hit us with your number 6?
Yes, my number 6 is another Bruno Cathala design game. It's based off of Mr. Jack. This is Mr. Jack Pocket by Hurricane Games. It's a 2-player game where they just take Mr. Jack and condense it. I mean, condense it down to a little quick deduction game. You're going to lay out 9 cards in a grid, and the first person's going to take his action. The second player will take 2 actions, and then the 4th player will take his last action. And you can manipulate the cards around. You do different stuff. It's been a while since I played it. It's an older game. It's probably about 5 years old. But I was just looking in my closet to see, to make up my list, and I go, oh, I remember this game. But yeah, have you guys ever played
When
Mr.
you say
Jack?
in your closet, you mean?
I haven't played any of the Mr. Jacks yet.
Yeah, I do. Besides my storage facility, I do have a game closet.
So that's what just like when you said your closet, you really meant your storage unit, right? So yeah. That's
But again, Baker, looking for 2-player games. That's a really fun one, Mr. Jack Pocket by Hurricane Games. That's my number 6.
So, all right, so Mr. Jack Pocket is specifically 2 players. What about the other Mr. Jacks? Are they more than 2 players, or?
Yeah, they're just bigger games, more players, a little bit longer.
Okay.
Not a
But
quick,
the Pocket Edition is specifically 2 players.
specifically 2 players, yeah. And
Okay.
it plays very quick. Very quick. 5-10 minutes, you're done with the game.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
I am now really interested in this Mr. Jack Pocket. I'm going to have to research and probably purchase. So, also, just to remind everyone as well, I'm plugging a lot of stuff randomly in here, but this is mainly for you, Baker, mainly for you, Asdruval. I don't know if it's happening in America, but I heard a little rumor about an Amazon board game sale tomorrow, starting midnight tonight. I don't know if it's just UK or just Europe, but I would let you guys know.
I'll believe it when I see it.
30% off apparently. Lords of Waterdeep's going to be like £18, £20 our side, so that's going to be like $30.
Like $48 our side.
So, Georgie, just off topic, you're thinking about getting Lords of Waterdeep?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I think because there's like some games that I just haven't purchased yet, even though I definitely should have purchased them. Like those like classic ones that everyone goes on about. So I know in the sale there's supposed to be like Lords of Waterdeep, Agricola. There's a bunch of others like Star Trek Fleet Captains is going to be there, Attack Wing, X-Wing. There's quite a lot going to be there, and Game of Thrones 3rd edition. So like this is from here. I'm hearing again. So come midnight tonight, my time, and midnight tonight against your time. I guess we'll find out if anything is actually there, and whether anything will be here.
If I can interrupt you for a second, Georgie, a lot of people are buying up Champions of Midgard, which is replacing Lords of Waterdeep for a lot of people.
I have heard this, yeah. there's something about all that dice. Like I love dice games, don't get me wrong, but that's like all having that many dice all the time. It just seems way too luck based. And I do kind of like the long term strategy of games as well, but I don't know. Maybe I should look a bit more into that. Like when I first heard about Champions of Midgard, I was all about it. I'm pretty sure I put it on like my top 5 or top 10 Gen Con games list, whatever I did. And then when it came out, and then I started seeing reviews about it and like people looking at it at Gen Con. I was like, whoa, look how many dice there are. And there's only like 2 or 3 different types of like guys that you can go into battle with and things. I mean, it seemed really interesting. Don't get me wrong, but it just seemed way too dice and luck heavy. But I don't know. I'll maybe check it out. It's still on my list. My list is ever growing. So.
Yeah, I know that's for sure. My list is.
Yeah, your list is the same, just growing and growing, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
So I think we're just moving on to number 5 now. So, Asdruval, do you want to take us off with your number 5?
Yeah, my number 5 is a game by AEG. AEG has in the stores they have this display, and it's got the same size box but with different games, and one of them is called Valley of the Kings.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another one of those. It's a set collection game where you play a pharaoh in Egypt, and you're trying to get buried with all your most prized treasures, I guess. And whoever has the most treasures buried with you in your tomb, you win the game. And the setup is really cool because you lay out the cards in a pyramid shape, and as you're taking the cards out, the cards will fall down and new cards will be added onto the pyramid. So that's a pretty cool little mechanic. Me and my wife, it's not a 2-player game, but it plays good with 2 players. We've had a lot of fun with it, and she's also a big Pharaoh King Tut fan, and she knows all about it. It's got cool little facts on the cards also on what the image is. So yeah, it's my number 5, Valley of the Kings by AEG.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot about it, but from what you're saying, that sounds like it's got a lot of theme on it, especially with the cards and the text and stuff. And I love a game with theme, I really do. So I might have to check that one out. Actually, was that like a follow up to another game, or?
I'm not entirely sure if it was, but I know that it was out of print for a little bit, but they brought it back. It's like a freaking $15 game, and it was going for a lot of money. But I think AEG finally printed more. Baker's looking up now.
I got you.
Our fact checker.
Yeah, no, it's back in print.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, Baker, do you want to hit us with your number 5?
Sure. My number 5 is actually a series of expansions. So
a cheater.
Well, I just. So if you're going to stick this in somebody's stocking, make sure they've got the base game, and that is any of the Imperial Assault ally or villain packs.
Okay.
So anybody that's not familiar with Imperial Assault, basically there's a whole series of ally and villain packs. They're only about that big, and you get miniatures for certain characters in those packages, and then a bunch of cards to add to the game and that sort of thing. But yeah, so I mean, if somebody's got that game and they like it, then they're gonna love to get a villain pack or an ally pack for it as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. Okay, so they add like an extra skirmish map, right, as well. Most of them, or
yeah,
all of
yeah,
them?
you get 2 skirmish missions, 1 skirmish map with each of them as well.
Awesome. Okay, so my number 5, keeping it going here, is Coup by Indie Board and Card, and that's Kikatata, I think that is pronunciation of the name of the designer. It's kind of like a bluffing game. There's like 7 or 8 rolls. 7 or 8? No, don't quote me on that. Maybe 5 or 6 rolls in the game, and you have two cards in front of you, and you pretend to be whoever you want, basically. Pretend to be whoever role. So I'm going to take this many coins because I'm this person, or I'm going to steal coins from you because I'm this person, or I'm going to assassinate you because I'm this person. And they can call your bluff, but if they call your bluff and you're right, you have to show them your card and then exchange it for something else, keeping two cards in front of you, and they have to get rid of one of their cards, flipping it up and showing you what card they've just discarded. It's really, really interesting, and we've played. It's so quick as well. We literally played like 4 games in 10 minutes once. There was only 3 players playing that time, but it was so interesting. Really, really love the game, and it's of the same realm of the same realm as Resistance. So I believe it's the Resistance Coup, but the game is just called Coup. So
cool.
Yeah,
I haven't played Coup yet.
No, neither have I.
I don't know, something about, I don't know, I'm not going to, that's one that I'm not going to buy before I play. I'm going to have to play with somebody to see if I really enjoy it.
yeah.
And I don't even know, for some reason the whole, being able to pretend you're anybody regardless of who you actually, it blows my mind a little bit, and I can't wrap my head around it, so I think I'm going to have to play it first.
So it's just like when we first started playing them, we were like, how do you do this? And then the more we played them, we were just like, it's easy. So you look at the 5 characters beforehand. So I don't even know if I'm not got a character sheet in front of me. So just for example, say this is it. Okay, because I'm the Duke, I'm going to take 3 from the stockpile. And even though you can usually take 2, right? So You're announcing who you are, and then you're announcing what you're doing. You might not be one of those. You might not have one of those cards. You've got 2 cards in front of you. Maybe one if already one of your cards has been killed, I guess. But you just say, okay, with the power of this, I'm going to do this. With the power of this, I'm going to do this. So you just announce what you're doing and why you're doing it, I guess. So it's interesting. Good bluffing. I like the little the line in the game. So it's really interesting to me. That's my number 5.
Cool.
Is that us on number 4 now? Everyone done their number 5?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay, I think I'll kick us off for number 4, which is kind of a crossover, I guess. I'm going to say kind of. You can tell me. It's Avalon by Indie Board and Cards. So that's kind of a
that
crossover.
Counts. I think that counts.
Crossover with yourself, yeah.
Well, no, crossover with Resistance.
And that too, man.
Yeah. So it's like Baker's already explained exactly what it is, but the Avalon version is supposed to be like medieval times with Dark Lords. It's things like that. So it's super,
King
super
Arthur,
right? Sorry?
It's King Arthur, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it's King Arthur, Merlin, and who's the actual? Oh, I can't remember the name of the bad guy. Marduk or something like that.
Mordred.
Yeah, Mordred, yeah. So, because it's
come on, Georgie, know your history.
Yeah, the minions of Mordred, open your eyes, right? That's how you. So that's my number 4, and that's Avalon.
I'll take the next number 4. This game I've enjoyed a lot. It's Boss Monster.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's set in the 8-bit side-scrolling screen where you play a boss in a video game, and you set up your dungeon, and the more heroes you can kill, the more points you score. Boss Monster came out about 4 years ago, but I believe they have Boss Monster 2 out this year. And they have a couple of expansions too. They can all mesh together to just make this one big game. It's a great fun game. Takes me back to my old Super Nintendo or regular Nintendo, 8-bit Nintendo days, because all the artwork is in 8-bit style. So it's a fun little game, and the box it looks like an old Nintendo cartridge. So it's pretty cool. So my number 4, Boss Monster.
Yeah, I believe that was another Kickstarter game. You're going kind of Kickstarter heavy today, Asdruval, for somebody who's a Kickstarter phobic.
Is that I did not know that. I just saw it in my store, and I thought this was cool. Maybe I should pay attention to Kickstarter.
Maybe you should. No, I don't know who's been telling you to do that at all. It would certainly probably was me, but never mind. Baker, do you want to take us off for your number 4?
Yes. My number 4 is not a Kickstarter.
Okay.
However, it is a crossover. And as of tomorrow, I'm sure I will have enjoyed it. And that's Tides of Time.
Okay, yeah. I thought you were going to say that there. I was like, yes.
Yeah. I'm very, very excited to get this one. I mean, it looks, the artwork is incredible, and I haven't heard anybody say that they haven't enjoyed it after playing it. So, yeah, very excited to get this one. Jordy's already covered how the game plays, so Tides of Time.
Awesome. Baker, tell you what, just go again. Why don't you? Since you never got to say much there, hit us for your number 3.
Okay, well, my number 3 is technically it's any of the love letters, but specifically for me, Batman Love Letter, which is the one I have enjoyed the most. I've only played that one and the original, but out of those two, Batman's the one I'll be getting whenever I get a copy of it. It's similar to, in the vein of like the coup game, where you really only ever have just one card in your hand, and then you draw a second one, and then you decide out of those two which one you're going to play. And there's only a few cards in the deck, so it's a very quick game. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's got the Batman theme on top of it, so you have Batman as the card that shows up the most, and then you can kind of guess which villains other people have to try to knock them out. And yeah, it's a good time.
I still think they should call it Bat Letter. But
Yes, I think Batman Love Letter is a dumb name, and considering that they were willing to change the name from Munchkin to Loot Letter, I don't know why in the world they would leave Love Letter as the title for a Batman game.
don't get me started on that one. But yeah, it's still pretty awesome. The artwork's cool. Like, they used the right Batman artwork for the game, I would say.
Yeah.
I like the little bat tokens that you get too. I think that's the only difference with the Batman one, right? So whenever you take someone out, you get a bat token as well. So.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so we're on number 3. Yes, we are. My number 3 is Dice Masters by WizKids,
Nice.
designed by Eric Lang and Mike Elliott. Now, I know this is a bit of a frowner for some people because of the collecting idea, but I mean, there's enough people out there that's collected them and enough editions now that you can already pick up a giant box on eBay if you wanted to. But as long as you buy the starter set, you can pretty much play. You can play straight from the box, even though you have to use like a smaller amount. It does kind of annoy me that, but once you get playing, it's a super fun 2-player game. And you can pick up the starter set plus like 10, 20 expansions for like, I don't know what, like $35 sort of thing, and that'll quite happily fit in somebody's stocking.
The little booster packs are only $1, and you get 2 dice and 2 cards. It's not really that expensive.
No, exactly. And over here they're actually only 99 cents and 99p here, so that would be like $1.50 your side. So actually, we're getting ripped here. I'm gonna have to look into that. So yeah, that's my number. I would say any of them. So like, I prefer DC Dice Masters, even though I know that's not the most popular one. Even though it's still ranking higher than Dungeons and Dragons Dice Masters, I believe, on BGG. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Dice Masters is coming out. That's going to be a standalone one. There's Yu-Gi-Oh! Dice Masters. What's the other one? The X-Men one. There's an X-Men one, and there's a
Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, you said that already.
Yeah.
There's X-Men. There's Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron's the other one. Yeah, and then there's going to be the Civil War one's coming out as well. So yeah, right. Spider-Man. There's so many different types. So pick your choice. Enjoy Dice Masters. I enjoy it, and that's my number 3, Dice Masters.
Cool. I guess I'll do my number 3 right now.
Okay.
My number 3 is another one of AEG's small games. It's called Agent Hunter.
Oh yeah.
This is another one that just plays In about 5 minutes, you're just laying three face-down cards, and you're trying to find the traitor of the group using deduction. And like I said, these games run really, really fast. You can play a handful of these games while you're waiting to start your big game, I guess. But Agent Hunter, my number 3 by AEG.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard quite a few good things about that. Although very mixed reviews, to be fair. But this what I've heard. I think it sounds pretty interesting, in my opinion. So that's about it. I think I'll kick us off. No, Asdruval, you kick us off with your number 2.
My number 2, I'm not going to talk about too much because we've already talked about it. Any of the love letters. But I do enjoy the Batman love letter. I do have the Batman version, and I have the original version. I haven't tried any of the other ones yet. I probably won't. But yeah, my number 2 is Love Letter, Batman edition.
Awesome. Well, I'm just gonna. I was gonna let Baker go next, but I'm just gonna butt in and say my number 2 is Love Letter.
Oh, look at that! Triple crossover.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna say the normal one's my favorite because I really like the artwork. However, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a Hey Arnold love letter. Come on, Hey Arnold love letter. It better happen at some point. So yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, man. You're trying to get the letter to Helder, right?
I mean, maybe that'll happen. If it does, then I'm waiting for a Family Matters love letter. Yeah, Urkel trying to get the letter.
That happens. I'm waiting for a SpongeBob love letter.
Oh well, now that's possible. So yeah.
That one actually might be possible because that's SpongeBob's still around.
Yeah, man. Baker, number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 is Sushi Go.
Oh, okay.
Which is, this is a card drafting game. It usually lasts about 15 minutes. You play 3 rounds. It's got ridiculously adorable artwork on these little pieces of sushi. But more importantly, everybody in the family absolutely loves that game. And everybody I've talked to has enjoyed playing it. It plays up to 5 players, I believe. Yep, 5 players. It says as low as 2 players, but to play 2 players, it's a variant with like a dummy hand usually, and it's you gotta change things up to play 2 players. But from 3 to 5, I would recommend it, and it's a lot of fun. Very easy to learn, but also has a good bit of strategy in what you're going to be, pulling out your hand each time and that sort of thing. So Sushi Go by who's that by? Game Right.
Yeah. Can I just ask, how many cards do you start off with in your hand?
It depends. If you in a 3-player game you get 9, a 4-player game you get 8, and a 5-player game you get 7 cards.
Okay, that's cool. I was just wondering what the drop was going to be because I had a feeling there would be a drop. But I was just wondering what the score was going to be. That's an interesting
Bill
number
Walker
2,
Harding
Baker.
is the designer.
That's an interesting number 2, Baker. I'm just saying, it's a good one. For me, maybe not as high as number 2.
Well,
so I guess
we're good thing that it's me then.
Wow.
You don't trash talk Sushi Go around me, Georgie.
Well, okay. Somebody's not
I'll come over there.
Somebody's not had their coffee this morning.
I've only had 1 cup. I know where you live, generally speaking, in a continental sort of way.
Yeah, come and find me. I dare you.
Scotland's not that big. I can find you.
So I guess that brings us on to your number 1. Baker, you haven't done any impressions this whole top 10. Do you want to do your number 1 impression of the summer?
Yeah, okay. All right. Eric Summer, in advance, I apologize. And finally, number 1!
I'm totally surprised you never kicked off with that. Brought that up sooner. So I think.
Y'all yelled at me the last time I did it, so I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, nah, come on. It's got to be a running thing now, right? So who
Hurt my
wants to
feelings.
who wants to go with their number one first?
I'll go with my number one real quick.
Okay.
Uh, another crossover is Dice Masters.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
Nice.
Played the DC Dice Masters because I enjoy the Marvel Universe a little bit better.
Okay.
Um, I also did try the Dungeons and Dragons Dice Masters. Didn't enjoy it too much because I think you have to know about that world in
Right,
order to
okay.
enjoy it. I also tried the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dice Masters, but again, with the same result, I think you have to know what's in that world to really enjoy that Dice Masters. But Marvel Dice Masters, everybody knows about Marvel characters,
Yeah.
and it's great fun. And just like we stated before, it's really not that expensive at all, and fits nicely in a stocking.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's got that nice shape as well, so right. Baker, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep, sure. My number one is actually another one that I have not played, but out of all the small games that I know of, it's the one I want the most. So that's why I put it as number one, and that is Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Oh, okay.
And what makes me excited about this one is I always thought the idea of the Tiny Epic games sounded really cool, but Tiny Epic, what was the first one? Tiny Epic Kingdoms, was that it?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Anyway, the first one got, it got kind of mixed reviews, and the second one, Tiny Epic Defenders, got pretty bad reviews from a lot of people. Just how random it was and stuff, I guess, was the main issue. But then Tiny Epic Galaxies is almost unanimously across the board gotten really, really good reviews. So I feel like this is the one that I'm finally going to be able to get a hold of and feel confident that I'll like it when I get it. So.
Awesome, man. I've not played the Tiny Epic series. It's just kind of something that I don't know. I never really I've never really been super interested to just grab some. However, I did see it the last time I was in my local game store, so I don't know. I might. It's a good value as well, and like I said, like
Yeah.
Galaxies, I heard some good stuff. So, however, my number one is I know I've plugged this game quite a few times, I believe, but some people might think it's still a bit of a shocker for a number one. It's by Asmodee, designed by Chris Cieslik and Carl pronunciation. Forgive me, Carl something, and it's Red 7.
Oh, nice.
It's an awesome little card game. There's not really that much confrontation because you're so concentrated on what's in your own hands and what you can do with your own palette and your hand and what the canvas in front of you. Super fun game. Whoa, sorry guys, I dropped the mic. See,
Well,
Red 7 deserved a mic drop. Wow, okay.
nice.
But yeah, it's a super awesome game. I really enjoy it. That's my number one, Red 7.
Cool.
Very
I
cool.
just heard good things about that game. I haven't actually tried it yet, but that's on my list also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was on my short list for this top 11. It's probably down around 12 or 13 for me, somewhere in
Okay.
there.
Awesome, man. I think particularly Baker, I have a feeling that you might enjoy it because there is like a variant that you could maybe play with like kids, but there's also a variant that maybe you and your wife could play where there's like you take the actions that are on the cards as well, as opposed to with the kids version you can kind of just ignore the actions on the cards.
Right, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
So super
Yeah,
interesting.
because it's definitely one I have not played.
It might work really well for you. So that's my number one, Red 7, and that wraps up the top 10 for
Yeah.
I guess December's top 10. Way. So the only thing now is to, I guess, wish everyone a Merry Christmas because we're like us three are not going to be together probably. Well, we might still find. I don't know. Baker's going to have a busy time coming up.
Yeah, I know. What's today? Today's Thursday. We're a week out from the due date for the kiddo that's showing up soon. It's getting close.
Yeah, man. I mean,
So
everyone
anytime
here.
now.
I'm sure everyone here, everyone who ever watches this video, and when it's on the channel, because I understand that we're not going to have much viewers at this time, but anyone who ever does watch this on the channel, I'm sure everyone's going to be wishing you the best, Baker, and I really hope everything goes well, and you
Hey,
don't
thank you.
stress out too much.
Nah, I think I'll be okay. I've got an 8-year-old who can do everything that can help out with everything. So I
There you
think
go.
I'm sure the 8-year-old will be more help than hindrance.
But other than that, yeah, I just think I would like to wish Asdruval, Baker, and everyone who ever watches this all the best for their Christmas time and their New Year time, just in case I don't see us live again. I'll definitely have a few more videos up before Christmas and then in between Christmas and New Year. Me and Baker might try and get it together, but we'll see, I guess, how it goes for another episode of Name in Progress. But like I said, Baker's going to be really busy coming the next week. And
Yeah.
Hey, how about I'll step in and be your co-host.
Oh yeah, Asdruval, if
Yeah,
you want to,
there you go.
Asdruval can fill in for me when Baker's. Yeah, so you're committed now. This is live, Asdruval. You realize that, right?
Can't back out now, Asdruval.
Oh, that'll be super awesome. Cool. So guys, I think we should cut it now. That's been another awesome top 10
Merry
plus
Christmas
one.
to everybody. Happy Hanukkah. All the other holidays that are happening right now.
Yeah, guys, and I would just like to again thank Baker and Asdruval for coming on the show. Again, this has been another top 10 plus one or top 11. I'm sticking with top 10 plus one. You guys can call it what you like. Thanks for watching another episode of Beers and Board Games with me, Georgie. This has been Baker from Board Online and Board Online and Board Offline, and Asdruval, the retro board gamer, who you can find on Board Game Blender. Also, you can find Baker on Board Game Blender too. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Catch you guys later.
See it.